all I'm saying is I don't think it's that wild that you think it's crazy of me that I want to look at my ancestry.
Listen, you shouldn't look at your ancestry if you can just look over and see it.
Dog,
if
no.
someone can point to you and be like, hey, that's where you came from right there.
Well, I know
like
where
you see that river on the other side of it? You see that bridge?
Yeah.
That's where your ancestry is.
No, like there's like some things that are obvious. Like I know that there's Spanish in me. I know that there's some native in me. But like if you go further and further, like you know, like how when like white people say they're like 5% Mexican, like
why are you
I want to find that 5%.
Why are you trying to further minoriticize yourself?
No. I just want to see what's out there. Like maybe I'm whiter. I don't know.
You just want to see if you can claim other struggles. It feels like.
I don't know if I want to claim other struggles, but
if it comes up,
cool.
You want to be able to be protected in case you say something wild.
Nah,
you're like, yo, I did my ancestry.com.
No,
I'm 15% trans.
No, what?
That's what you want.
No. I think it's more of like, it's like I'm coming from it from an appreciation type way.
You want to make sure that you're able to appreciate other cultures comfortably. You can't just appreciate them on their own.
No, but maybe it's
now
like
you want to feel like you have a part of it.
Yeah,
you want to take something away from.
No. You don't.
Okay.
We are all selfish in that way. Like if we have if it's like a part of us, and it's like we want to learn more about it.
But if you never knew it was like if you never knew it was a part of your culture, my thing is like. We kind of get our culture with our families. Like with the people around us, we've seen what's kind of like indoctrinated into us.
Yeah.
Now we just searching for cells and shit. Like just trying to find like things that we we went back to.
No, I wouldn't claim it as my culture, but I would
also afraid.
What?
Like I am, that's just the whole database of your DNA. And now they're just like, yo, we got that person off the the government's like, 23andMe, hand over that DNA data though.
What are they going to do?
Match things up, have a whole database of the people and know where you are and your freedoms can be taken away. And
what freedoms?
Your freedoms to do crimes without getting caught, dog.
Well, what am I, YSL? They got caught anyway.
All I'm saying is if there's a crime scene and then somehow, like, because in my opinion, like, by what I understand, when they get the DNA when they get the DNA from the database, they have to put it. It already has to be in there, right?
If the government,
like you had to have been caught up before.
If the government wants to find you, they're gonna find you regardless of 23andMe or not.
I don't know, dog.
You have a license,
but my DNA ain't attached to my license, dog.
Yeah, but they know who to call to get to you.
Yeah, but they don't know my DNA though.
What does that have to do with anything?
Then when you get caught up into a situation like YNWMLE, they ask you to submit your DNA because they don't have it. So meaning like they're already finding all this shit out.
What are you gonna do?
I'm just saying you never know what's gonna happen out in these streets. I'm being like those white people. I'm getting scared.
Scared of what?
I don't know. January 6th trials are going on. It's just crazy out here, dog.
Oh, were you out there?
I was not out there, but I'm just waiting. I'm like, what if someone tries to subpoena me? Because I've been having this problem where people keep on thinking I look like other people.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I've been getting mistakenly mistaken out here.
Mistakenly mistaken?
Yes. I've been mistakenly mistaken for other people's.
Well, no. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's something about I don't know if it's my complexion, I don't know if it's some of my eyes or what it is, but I'm kind of racially ambiguous where like some people think I'm other things. So that's where I want to be like, that's what drives my curiosity.
I get the same thing. I understand that.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
But I don't really want to know all that shit, and I don't want the government to be on my DNA trail. That's the whole thing. Is that like at this point I've been being mistaken for other people.
Who'd you be mistaken for?
Last thing I need
to give me an example.
I mean, just random places like at work. People be mistaking me for other people. I'll go somewhere and then go back the next day, and then they'll tell me about the person who was there the day before. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I'm wearing a hat versus not wearing a hat, I'm a completely different person to people. Also. I've noticed.
Well, that's because you at your hats, you have multiple personality syndrome, and it's all has to do with your hat placement. I don't know if the pod people, like if our fans know about this.
Yeah. Well, I know that there's certain things with hat placement, but it's like I'm a completely different person. Like they don't recognize me with or without, depending on how they met me. So it becomes like a thing now.
Well,
I'm just afraid.
Well, to be fair, you've changed a lot since, like, let's say someone from like when we went to high school together.
Yeah, they wouldn't recognize me.
They wouldn't recognize you today.
But also not even that. I'm just talking about like a few days separated. I'm talking about like I can meet somebody and then like come back in a different outfit and I get not recognized.
Well, did you meet him in like a blue collar outfit and then you came back like it was a different type of fit?
That happens sometimes. But, you know, for me, it's like when I get dressed, it's all based on emotions and feelings. Sometimes I'm feeling different, dog. You know, sometimes I'm feeling like a different person. Sometimes I'm feeling out here in a different way. And sometimes I represent myself differently. And that becomes hard to translate for other people because they're like, wait, last time I met you, you were feeling and dressed this way.
Yeah.
And now it's seeming like you're representing something else. And so I guess they just must think it's a whole different person. I must have a twin or something. So all I'm saying is that with all of these mix-ups, last thing I need is for someone to have my DNA and then try to mix me up into a mix-up.
Well, maybe you would need your DNA out there so people would be like, no, this is how you prove your innocence. Like, that wasn't me.
But what if I like sneezed on the crime scene by accident? Like I didn't know what was going on.
Well, no. By your logic, like you could be completely somewhere else.
Of course, I could be completely somewhere else, but there could also be a situation where like someone committed a crime.
Like what if?
And then I pass by and spit.
What if someone did what Nle Choppa did in his caption, where he just recklessly finished during intercourse, and then someone trying to get to you for child support because they think you're that guy. That's where you would want your DNA out there because you'd be like, that ain't my kid.
I'm going to submit my own DNA at that point.
Okay.
I'll submit for my own DNA, and
then
I'll give it to my personal lawyer, though, to then give it to the privatized clinic for testing. The government doesn't have to be intercepted in this. My lawyer will present all of our evidence in court.
Okay.
I think we should start this show.
All right, let's start the pod.
2, 1.
Welcome to the 2.5 Citizens
podcast. I'm Zen.
It's your boy P.
And wait, is it just P? There's nothing else?
No, there's nothing else.
There's nothing else going on?
No. Sometimes I feel like a little saint.
Sometimes you're on that little saint shit?
Sometimes.
But lately it's just been P.
Yeah.
You just wanted to get rid of all the other letters of your name that you've been given by the government?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. That's it? That's all it is?
I mean, I'm just doing what Gunna said, and I'm just pushing P.
Oh, okay. I feel you. Yeah, things are getting sad. They're all writing letters now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
they've all been writing letters.
I saw that letter Gunna wrote, and I was like, his is one that I could kind of believe.
You can't believe the ones that are coming from Young Thug?
No, absolutely not.
About how they're using black art against them? That's not the one. You don't feel like that?
His is like, dude, his is like too much stuff is lining up to where it's just not looking good.
No. It has been very, 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 very wild. Like every time I see it, I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Freedom boys. Freedom. From a distance,
maybe.
Like, but don't come to my city.
Yeah. Stay in Atlanta.
Stay in Atlanta. Don't bring y'all's crime over here.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting situation. But there's a few things as far as like who I've been getting all this coverage from.
Okay.
Has been from the popular news site. Academics, you know, the news Instagram that you'll see.
Yes.
And
I do like to call you the Mexican academics.
Well, you got to stop with that.
But I'm going to stop that now.
Because one thing that I do want to bring up is as we're going to go into like
would we consider ourselves the Mexican TMZ then? But I feel like you're more ahead of it than TMZ.
It depends, because then once they come up with a story, everything's rumors until TMZ says it.
Right.
So it's like that's the thing is once they say it, it's set in stone. But this one is as we get into some of the reactions, I do want to go back to one of these things because I'm wondering what they may be referring to. But basically, social media users react to audio of academics speaking on intimacy with women of various ages. There's not much difference between a 20 or a 17. This is the quote from academics. And to keep it real with you, think about in the bigger scheme of things. We're not so much different. Wait, there's not much difference between a 20 or a 17 or a 21 and a 17. Just kind of means one's a minor and one's not a minor. But listen.
One's legal and one's not.
But listen, I will say, I adopted this rule, which I think was fine. I said, listen, as long as a chick got a college ID, she getting fucked. He goes, I don't care if she's 17. I don't care if she's 17 and a half. I don't care if she just turned 17. She gonna get this dick. And then people start responding. If you got the energy to check for college ID, you can check for an actual ID and know their age. The one that gets me is
well, it's a crazy thing to say because it's like, what are you gonna say that to the judge? Like,
so he goes. DJ Academic said about minors, like, this is the second time he spoke sexually of minors. It's time to get him out of here. That one. It makes me wonder if they're referencing the Bad Baby tweet where he said Bad Baby got mad titties for a 16-year-old or something like that, which was proven to have been a hack. Like, he had been hacked and multiple tweet wild shit had been tweeted from his account. One of which was Bad Baby got mad titties for a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is that just like people still bring that up. People still bring that screenshot up. And it's like, that didn't come from him.
Because, bro, okay, some things, if it's wild enough, the truth doesn't matter anymore.
That's most things, though.
That's most things.
I'm trying to see, like, the Shade Room's been the one talking about it. And but I'm wondering if any of the other news sites that kind of fuck with academics, like No Jumper and stuff, are going to be talking about that.
Well, the question that here comes is, or the question at hand is, was he being like sarcastic? Was he like, is this a joke? Was this a bit? If he was like dead ass, like that's insane.
The worst part is I can't find the audio clip
really
for
gross.
Context.
Yeah.
I can't find the audio clip because here's the thing is like Complex isn't posting about it because they had ties to him. You know what I mean? They're still...
The thing is I want context and then I can make a decision. I can't make a decision off rip because I don't know if this is a bit or if he's being like
because I also don't know who he's having this conversation with.
Right.
Like
But it sound mad R. Kelly though.
It does, but it's like, I was like, is he talking to Fresh and Fit? Like, who is he having this conversation with that he feels like this is what he should be like? The rhetoric that he should be having?
Yeah.
Because it just says an audio clip circulating, but I haven't heard the audio clip.
I haven't heard the audio clip.
So I'm just reading the quotes, which again, we could be the white DAs reading off.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That it's like if we say it without the context, without the music that's memorizing you,
or with,
you sound crazy.
He's when he's yelling on Twitch, drinking Henny and stuff like that. Like there's a different vibe out there. So I don't know.
With mind you, that doesn't make it okay. It doesn't justify it. But I'm saying like if this is a joke,
let's see if we could find anything.
Not that it's a good joke or anything, but like I do think context matters.
Okay. So,
and I'm not.
So they keep on. So why are y'all surprised that DJ Academic said he'd fuck the shit out of minors when he literally said this? And it's of course Bad Baby got mad titties for a 15-year-old. That was a hacked thing. But okay, DJ Academics, the same guy that spread the 2020 rumor about Doja everywhere, is being canceled for admitting that he would sleep with 17-year-olds. That's the Doja karma. Okay, so but where is the clip? Okay. Yeah, no, these are all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he gonna get canceled off like allegation?
Much difference between keep it real. If you think about it in the bigger scheme of things, there's not much difference between a 20 or a 17 or a 21 and a 17. Just kind of mean one's a minor and one's not a minor. But I will say, listen, I adopted this rule, which I think it was fine. I said, listen, man, as long as a chick got a college ID, she's getting fucked. I don't care if she's 17. I don't care if she's 17 and a half. I don't care if she just turned 17 and I'm 21. She's going to get this dick. Keep it real if you think about it.
No.
I mean,
that's crazy.
I mean.
Nope.
That's
insane.
I mean.
Might have to unfollow right now.
Okay, so really sat down to do an interview and said all that. Some teen girls can get a fake ID. It's not shocking at all, TBH. I just don't know. Like, so that's what's going around. But it's like, where was this on? Where was he having? Because there's no video clip. It's an audio clip.
Yeah.
Where was he having this conversation?
I have no idea. It's a crazy ass conversation to have.
Now, this is. I don't want to be. Never mind. This might even be worse to say.
What?
Because of one thing that I just saw. So Jamaican immigrant DJ Academics makes disgusting remarks about underage girls. So, is there a difference in age laws? And mind you, he's been here forever, but is it like culturally a different conversation where he's from?
I don't know, but I think like Jamaica,
technically Texas,
Jamaica's in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
And
Like where Johnny Depp be.
Yeah, with the Pirates. What I'm saying is like it's not that far from the U.S. So culturally, yes, we're gonna be different, but like there's some similarities still. And I mean, I don't know, because like I'm thinking I'm thinking about like Mexico, like that's still not okay.
But they be giving up their daughters when they're like 15 and shit.
Yeah, but that's like a party. Like they're not like being like, hey guys.
But it stems from an idea of where, I mean, by my understanding, right? This idea where like that was where you became a woman and you could then be like traded like a Pokemon card to someone else for land and cattle and shit.
Yeah, but that was different times. Like in today's day, like no one's actually like doing that.
Yeah, but like you still be seeing people out here like, I don't know, man. It's such a weird thing where it's like, I don't know how, because we can't get the whole world on one accord, but it's like, can the whole world be on one accord with certain shit? Like, can the whole world just be like, hey, yo, like, it's 18? Because, like, even Texas is technically 17. We can't even get this shit straight here.
Oh, like, I think different states have different ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I think we're just going to have to keep it safe and keep it at a good 21 and up just to, if she could smoke a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? From there to the unmarried people, to the people out there living in the streets.
I would say it also depends on your age as a guy.
I think there should be like I think subtract this many.
Yeah, I think like if you're in your 30s, 25 and up. If you're in your 30s.
Yeah, honestly, for the sake of like maturity too, like
yeah, if you're 25, if you're a male and you're 25, 22 and up. You
think so?
Yeah.
It's weird though because you see all these like
if you're 21,
all of our families, a lot of our families came from like these environments where there was such a large age difference.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir. That's how I was born.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's the thing is like I don't know how hypocritical can we be to the reality of what the world might be.
I just know that like if the age difference is wild, but you're not breaking any laws, then like it's okay. But also like at the same time, there's like the maturity, like it's a tough situation to put yourself in, like just maturity wise, like it's not a wise thing to do.
It's not a wise thing to do, but a lot of people be doing it, and I think it's an interesting phenomenon.
Can we just agree that guys that date younger women is because like they're like not emotionally mature enough to handle someone their own age?
That's a big possibility. But let's get into a few other things here.
Yeah.
I don't know what is going on with Justin Bieber as far as like this isn't the first weird like he had like Lyme's disease, remember?
Yeah, which is weird because like you get that by like ticks, right?
Or something like that. So it's like he had gotten Lyme's disease and he was all sick for a while and people thought he was doing drugs and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he came out and told us what was going on. And now he makes this video where half of his face is paralyzed because he got some sort of other disorder. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like Ruth Bader Ginsburg disease or something like that.
Leif Erikson's Day?
Yeah, Leif Erikson's disease or something like that. I don't know what it really is. I'm sure it's a very serious type of thing. But it affected the nerves in his ear and face. Mm-hmm. And because of that, he's taking some time off to get himself back in order.
Yeah.
For starters, what are your thoughts on that? On like what is going on with him? And can we talk about the fact that low-key he still managed to look good while making that video with his face as paralyzed?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, stress is a crazy thing. You know, like I don't know if this was like stress induced.
I mean, it says it's a disease of some sort. Like he got diagnosed with a disease, but I don't know how you get that.
Right. And then because I was just confused with the name, and I had to like ask my wife because she's a nurse. Because I was like, well, why isn't it? Because I thought it was like why isn't this just Bell's palsy? Because
Right.
Bell's palsy is like when half of your face like droops down. But
Yeah.
then she's like, well, that's what she told me. She's like, Bell's palsy is more like droopy, and it looks like you might have a stroke. Like it gets confused with that. But this is more of like, I don't know. If we put on our tinfoil hats, like I have some family members that put on tinfoil hats, they claim it's because he's vaxxed and he's glitching.
Yo.
But I don't want to put that narrative out there like
Other
that.
people like to just say what kind of drugs he doing.
I think it's more stress induced, man. You don't know what kind of stress that guy's under.
Do you think so? I mean, what is he even? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stress to be Justin Bieber, but I feel like he hasn't even been scrutinized by the public nearly as much lately. I feel like
It does feel like his life got easier.
Like it also feels like whenever he puts out a project, he doesn't even have to really promote it. Doesn't really seem like he's got to work too hard to do anything.
Yeah.
He has that clothing brand that like everyone wears, but people know is his, but not everybody knows is his. That Drew House one or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's still managing to like.
And the designs don't really have like that much like creativity. It's just like an almost smiley face.
So it's like kind of like how his face is right now.
Yeah.
But like with.
Damn, dog. I know. I love how you just try to do that and then keep going like it ain't happened. Anyway, keep going like it ain't happened.
So, like, there's certain things that I'm like, where is his stress coming from now? I mean, he's married now, so maybe that adds a lot of stress, right? Maybe that adds.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, dude. Like, we don't know what's going on in his life. We don't know, like, the guy can't even get groceries, you know?
Can he not?
I don't know. He'd
I'm sure he
get swarmed.
Nah, I doubt it because
He might not know how to cut a cucumber, just like Kendall.
You wild. That's a different one, though, because I feel like he specifically just goes out and does shit because apparently there was that video where like the gang had to be like, yo, Justin, you in the hood right now. Like, hey, like you need to watch out. Like you in the hood. So it seems like he is the type to just freely walk around and go do shit. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it's an interesting thing of like what it is that can be causing these things because when you see celebrities from afar, you think like they always got to have shit on check, right? Like they're constantly getting themselves checked up. They're an asset.
Right.
They're the ones. Like I mean, you got to do. So let's just say like a building, a company. You got to do maintenance on the building because that's the building that's like paying the bills. So it's like you would assume that like a lot of these celebrities that are in such a high like and basically run so many people's lives that they would have some sort of thing that keeps them more in check, and like I don't know exactly what can cause this. Did Elvira let you know anything about how that could possibly be caused or any information anyone's got?
She hadn't heard of it, but I'm looking it up right now. So what triggers Ramsay Hunt syndrome? RHS, which is initially described in 1907 by James Ramsay Hunt, is triggered by an infection of the... Bro, this man got monkeypox. No, I'm just playing. I don't know how to say that.
Okay, let's see. Infection of... Oh, God damn it. Triggered by an infection of the... We're sounding this out. Varicella zoster virus, or VZV. The virus that causes chickenpox and shingles. The fuck is up with these wild vintage diseases that he's getting? He must be doing vintage drugs like Quaaludes or some shit.
Yeah.
Meaning individuals diagnosed
Smoking opium.
with either of those conditions are also at risk of developing RHS. Still, RHS is relatively rare. So, why is half of Justin Bieber's face paralyzed? It's been just a few days since Justin Bieber shocked fans with an announcement that half his face had been paralyzed due to complications with Ramsay Hunt syndrome. So maybe it's like something he had already had and maybe it's flaring up or something.
Or maybe, you know how like, so I know this with like, because they mentioned shingles. So anyone that has had chickenpox, you have the virus in you and then it can trigger shingles at any moment. So maybe it's one of those things where it's like...
It just got triggered because of something.
Because of, age, whatever.
So that's an interesting one. But with that has been the revelation that Nle Choppa, on his holistic Nle Chakras journey, has been reaching out. Apparently, he's been trying to get his label to reach out to Justin's team because he claims that he's got the solution for whatever's going on with Justin right now. He says, I need to get...
He's like, I got the teas.
He says, I got the teas, I got the plants, I got the herbs, I got what you need.
The oils.
And DJ VLAD started roasting Nle Choppa over this.
Yeah.
At which point, Nle Choppa called DJ VLAD a culture vulture who doesn't care about the community and is just helping people get locked up out here. And then at which point, DJ VLAD calls him a snake oil salesman. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they're both right.
You think that they both things can be true?
Yeah.
I wonder the culture vulture thing, because it's like, how can you be in the inn for that long? Like, you have to
No. I don't think it's like more of culture vulture thing. I think he like the whole like snitching without realizing, or like
it's not snitching without realizing. It's doing your job, and it's like you as an artist have to be responsible enough to not like put yourself in a situation, say things that are going to get you implicated, because you want the benefits. Look, you go on an interview show because you want to get their audience and you want to get your message out there. So make sure you got your message in line.
Right.
If they ask you questions, it's funner when people can't answer it and say like, I'm not going to talk about that, because then your mind just wanders.
Yeah.
But then when you go out there and you say real shit, then that's your fault. You wanted the recognition and you wanted people to see you and you wanted all of this, just like Vlad wanted to get views and wanted to do all this. It's a symbiotic relationship. And then when all of a sudden you fuck up,
you want to blame Vlad for creating the perfect storm that you created.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, he's just asking questions. You don't have to answer them. You don't have to put yourself in a bad situation.
Also, we act like people, like, we've interviewed people here in this podcast, and you haven't seen those episodes, make sure you go check them out. But it's like you kind of talk about before you start rolling, even as a small show as this is, we talk about right before, like, hey, this is kind of what we want to talk about.
Right. Like, is there any things you don't want to talk about? Is there any things that, like, you want off the table or you want to shine light on? Like, there's just these things where we want to get those people's message across, right? Whatever it is that they're trying to get. So it's like, it's the way that the business works. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's like, there's no way that you can get so many high-class, like, high-level people in the hip-hop field to come onto your show and talk to you if you don't hold some sort of weight in the culture and don't add something to it. You know what I mean? Like, people wouldn't go and do that if they didn't respect it. You feel me? So it's one of those things where it's like, all right, I get it. I get what your perception is, Nle Choppa, but like, how it's also a weird thing to me. Like, if you're talking about culture is what? Hip-hop culture, because he's technically been around in the culture longer than you. Right. You know what I mean? If you're just talking about black culture and like, that's a whole different type of conversation. Mm-hmm. But like, hip-hop as a whole has been created by a lot of different people, a lot of different DJs, a lot of different magazine personalities, a lot of different interview personalities.
Now, could we say that Nle Choppa is reverse gentrifying being an oil snake salesman? Because that's usually like white housewives that do that, like on Instagram, where they sell like essential oils.
Yeah, but there is a certain subset of like minorities where like the holistic approach, like we have a lot of them as like Mexicans. We have a lot of like the egg. How many times have they been telling you that you're sick, but the egg's supposed to fix it?
My mom never believed in that, but she would buy some like random stuff like the Herbalife kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would get for one Herbalife all over the house, and definitely got swiped with an egg on more than one occasion.
I've never been swiped with an egg.
And I'm just like, and you see and they make you believe, you're like, yo, I do think I feel a little better now.
Oh, it's more like a placebo.
Yeah, because I'm just like, why are we doing this right now? But that's just the way that certain things are. They believe that these things, certain things.
The mind is a powerful thing. If you believe that this fake thing is going to make you better, I think to some extent it might help a little.
For sure. But there's also real things. We be putting aloe on.
No. There's real things, but there's also things that are like wild. Like, didn't he say like Nle Choppa also claimed that he could cure like certain STDs with certain herbs?
He also said he could cure cancer.
Yeah, he said he could cure cancer. That's crazy.
That one was wild.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand why he doesn't have someone on his team telling him, hey, don't say that specific thing though. You can
yeah.
say that like whatever you're doing is making you feel better and making you a better person.
Like you could say like pain management if you have certain diseases.
Like you could say just a lot of things like it just makes me feel better, it keeps me healthy.
Yeah.
But like to say like, yo, this cures cancer.
Like I believe, like I will believe you if you say this gives me energy, I can sleep better, is better for my skin or hair, vision. I'll believe that. But when you say something like cancer,
yeah, like that one's wild.
I'll even
STDs.
I will even give you lowers my blood pressure to a certain extent or like helps regulate my blood sugar. I will maybe give you those.
Yeah, but that's like you have to run trials and shit for stuff like cancer, right?
Yeah,
like, you got to be.
Yeah.
For one, like who we've been giving all this money to? Why we all been wearing pink then?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If all of a sudden it's all just cured by some herbal.
Yeah, like we just didn't know.
Now with the conspiracy tinfoil hat thing.
Oh, being like they don't want you to know that
you have
like
this feeling that
like this random plant can like
not
cure
even
cancer.
not the random plant, but do you think there is a world where we have a cure for certain types of cancers that people don't want to make as readily available to
because
the public?
there's too much money out there?
Right, in research, in the care and all that stuff. Do you think? Part of me feels like that's not possible because some independent like scientists trying to cure their family member would figure that out, right?
Right, and I don't think it's possible because you gotta look at like what powerful people have died from cancer. Like Steve Jobs died from cancer.
Yeah. Like someone should have slipped him something, right?
Right.
To say, yo, hey, just say you fought it.
Like Steve Jobs was Bezos before Bezos.
Right, like for the fact
and like
that,
Elon before Elon.
Yeah, we lost him. I mean, we've lost. I mean, Black Panther. You don't think they would have? Done something about Black Panther?
Right.
Let Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever, dude. You know, is it the Wakanda plant? Is that what did?
Yo,
did Nle Choppa find that?
I mean, for one, they were all saying that Atlanta was Wakanda, but now you're seeing what's going on in Atlanta, and it's seeming less Wakanda as time goes by.
What's happening in Atlanta?
I mean, they're getting all the rappers up they're picking them up for Ricos.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's no longer Wakanda anymore. You know what I mean?
It could be Wakanda for other things.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's what they were saying. They were saying like we all good in Atlanta. Atlanta's Wakanda. They got our back, and then
they don't.
And then they don't. So I don't even know anymore. That's why I don't think it's possible. That's why I think that we need Nle Choppa out there still doing research.
Bro.
I mean, we need him to continue trying to do, because I just saw a news article today that Fauci got COVID and has mild symptoms, even though he got vaccinated and got 2 boosters. So it makes me wonder now, like, what's the hope? What's the hope for us?
I don't think... Never mind.
You don't think Nle Choppa's the hope?
Yeah, Nle Choppa's the hope. Yeah, whatever, dude. Do your thing. If you find something, you find something, and yeah.
I mean, look, here's the thing, is that I think people be counting artists out, right? They be thinking you just know one thing, it's the shut up and dribble factor. Because now, I was thinking a lot more, the one that we all thought was crazy, which was Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, when he was on his alien stuff?
It's been on his alien stuff. And it's not that he was on his alien stuff. He has now taken it to the point where he's like gotten the biggest people in the field, the most legitimate people on his team. Do you know how many emails were like from Tom DeLonge in the Hillary Clinton email leak when all that shit happened?
No.
How many emails he was on?
No.
Where like he's been out here like legit on this like research, really actually trying to like do something. He's like really in the shit now.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people count him out because like, oh, he's just some crazy rock star who's on this shit now. But sometimes it leads you into a different path.
Sometimes the frogs are gay.
Sometimes the frogs are gay, okay?
Yeah.
And, I want to get into a few more topics here before we close out. But yeah, I mean, that's just the big thing right now where it's just like, what are they not telling us?
So going off of things they're not telling us, ADIDAS apparently didn't let Kanye know that they were going to rip him off.
Yeah, so they put out this slide,
Which looks kind of fire, dude. I probably get it.
I was thinking about it,
bro. I was like,
bro,
I'm not buying this. I was like, I'm not buying this for like $90, but I'll give you 50 maybe.
Right? Like I was looking at it like that one. I would low key want to.
So I don't blame Adidas for doing that.
But how does that work? Because Adidas is the one making his shoe already, so they have all of like. It's like it's like stealing his intellectual property without stealing his intellectual property.
Right.
It's already our property because you're making.
But shoes. Is it like I guess we got to find out how it works, right? So is it like because Yeezy is also their own company. So are they just? Is it when they sign their partnership? Is it like Adidas was just gonna be a distributor, or did they merge like technologies to make something?
They definitely had to merge technologies because Boost.
Exactly,
like
that's what I'm saying.
Stuff that he does is Boost, and that's Adidas technology.
Right.
So it's like silhouettes. That's what I'm wondering. Design, because it's like
I could see the design in the silhouette. I give them that, but the technology, I don't know.
Right, technology is a whole different thing, but it's about, I guess, their design, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but what is, because it's different. I mean, texturally, it's different.
Well, they just like
stair-stepped it.
Yeah.
I mean, texturally, it's different. Color-wise, it's the same,
It's for sure let me copy your homework, or I change it a little bit so it's not too sketchy. But, like, the teacher knows what you did.
But I wonder why. So here's my thing is, like, do they not make enough money from when Kanye puts out stuff for them to have to put a general release version out that's more, like, readily available to the public?
Well, think about this, though. There's a huge resale market, and the companies are obviously missing out on that. So they're like, how do we get ahead of this without, like, hurting that? Because that obviously pushes their brand, too.
It definitely pushes their brand. Your brand's worth more if you can't get it.
Right. So it's like, how do we not mess with that, but also, like, make sure we get some of... Because, like, if you can't get the actual Yeezy slides, then the next best... So then, like, let's bring in the next best thing, so where we'll get the people that, one, are not willing to pay the resale price, a.k.a. us.
Right.
That will probably be like, look at this and be like, all right, yeah, whatever, I'll swing that. Or two, the people that... maybe don't, just can't afford that and we'll get this, or like people that just think these are cool on their own, But
it's tough because you can't look at them and say they're cool on their own without knowing where they come from. You know what I mean? Or like feeling like you know where they come from. Like
right.
This seems too similar to this.
Right.
It's like anytime you see a Skechers shoe, it's like no one can say I love a Skechers on their own, because they just look like another shoe.
Well, what about all the designer brands that are basically like making Dunks?
I mean,
or like New Balances.
But here's the thing, is that they're not the brand. They're another brand putting their elements onto this idea of a silhouette.
Right.
So when it's Adidas who is using that same technology, it just seems like we've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
From you guys.
And I guess Kanye's hopping in on this because it's like, maybe he does want to be like, yo, what are y'all doing? This is like my intellectual property. Like, I created this in a partnership with you guys. And maybe like he's not trying to get like put on the sidelines of like maybe Adidas thinking like, yo, you're a little too wild. I think we've got enough out of you. We can kind of go without you now.
Right. Because we've gotten like all of the fans who want your type, and now we can just make like muted colored things, and then people will like it or whatever.
Right.
I think they're trying to like generalize it now. Like, all right, we got Travis Scott doing these colors, you doing these colors. We just take these colors. We already have the technology. We don't need you to make bubbled whale looking shoes.
Right. To where it's like, is this maybe Kanye? Maybe Kanye's playing the long game where he's like really not upset about the fact that they copied him. It's maybe he doesn't even want them to think about a world where they can outgrow him.
Right. So, but I mean, he's doing stuff with Gap now. It's like, where do you go from here? Like, what do you continue growing the Yeezy brand? And
the weird thing about it is too is that Adidas picked a big artist. They picked up Beyonce. They picked up Jerry Lorenzo. They took him from Nike, where he had his own silhouettes, and then they took Sean Witherspoon, which I don't think Sean Witherspoon's Adidas shoe resonated like his Nike shoe.
I don't even remember his Adidas shoe.
It was the one that had like little like flowers, and like there was like the things were like dropping down on the Superstar.
Still thought that was a Nike.
No, it was a
Oh, it was a
Superstar.
Superstar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss him on Nike.
Exactly.
Those 2 shoes that he dropped with Nike
We're insane.
were the hardest shoes.
Yeah.
And maybe it's that my wonder, and I mean, this could be disrespectful. Does Adidas have the same sort of history that Nike has as far as like Sean Witherspoon likes to go and he basically made the first shoe out of like material from old recycled Nike hats because like it's that history. Do you have that same type of history with Adidas as far as like things you can pull back from and make so
Like in the
wild?
archives?
Right.
I think so. I mean, I think Adidas as a company has been around longer than Nike.
But meaning like making innovative things that people really want to wear and people will resonate with remembering. Because it's like, what do you really got?
I mean, you got the Sambas, you got Superstars.
But I don't know. They just don't hit like that. Nothing hits like a Dunk or an Air Force or even an Air Max to like that much of a scale. I mean, you got Superstars and you got Stan Smiths that pretty much are ubiquitous in that sense that like...
No, you can throw Sambas in there. I think it's unfair to not throw Sambas in there.
Okay, we can throw them in there, but to me it just seems like such a...
You're Mexican. How do you not want to throw Sambas in there? You gotta give...
Are we throwing Cortez in with Nike? Like, I don't think...
Yeah.
I just don't think it's there and it's necessary, but I don't think it's like to that level.
But it's still there. It's like
there though, but Nike's got so many other
it's
things.
bottom of the barrel, but it's there.
It's the fact that you're trying to bring up bottom of the barrel, dog. That's what's disrespectful in this conversation.
Okay.
It's just I don't know, but I wanted to save this to the end because according to certain people, we've been starting off with these types of conversations way too early in the episode.
What?
So I want to bring up the most recent wildness that Kim has been saying, Kim Kardashian.
Who complained to you?
Seth was telling me that not even 10 minutes into the episode, we're getting into the Kardashians already. And I'm like, it's popping topics, okay? It's things that are happening right now.
Yeah.
So I want to retract what I said last time. Last time I said she was drinking blood. It wasn't that she was drinking blood. It's that she said she would eat poop if it made her younger. Not a better situation, just a different bodily function.
Yeah.
But now, it's just like, because Kanye now he's talking about Yeezys and stuff. So he's not even like...
He's not on them.
He's not on them. So now she basically said, she had said that she was just trying to hook up. She was also basically saying that like him asking her to go get ice cream was like the biggest turn on ever. I'm like,
kind of ice cream.
Frenchies or whatever the fuck this place is. I don't know. They said some place that I guess is popping over there. It's like when he said, let's go get ice cream at such and such, I just thought, oh my gosh, that place, I am so turned on right now. I'm just getting like so horny from like the thought of getting ice cream with Pete Davidson. Like, I don't understand at this point what she's trying to do.
I think it's like, right, it's like selling what she's already sold and repackaging it. But also I think it's like there's maybe some psychologicalness to it where it's like they crave normal stuff. Like to us that sounds crazy because it's like that's what we do. Like
we'll just go and get ice cream.
We'll just go and get ice cream. Like it's nothing. Like,
but for them, it's like, oh, you just want to go get ice cream with me?
Like that, bro. There's an episode where like fucking Kylie and Chris like go into like a gas station like drive-through car wash, and they're like freaking out. They put this G-Wagon through this thing.
And they're freaking out about the fact that it's in there?
Yeah, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, we got to bring the kids. They would love this. Like, blah, 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 blah.
What? We got to bring the kids. They would love this?
Yeah, because they were like, look at the cutlers. And I'm like, bro, first off, the guy that washes your car that probably just waxed it is probably really pissed that you did this.
Wait, why though?
Because they ruined it. They put it through a cheap machine, and they probably pay like people to like do this by hand.
Oh, I mean, I guess, but it's like, I mean, you're right on that one. And I was more thinking about the person that works there. Because how would you feel like you just like, if you were like the person who sprays the car wash, like the car down in the beginning, when you pull up to the drive-through once and then he's scrubbing you down. And then you go in there and you see them like taking videos and stuff. You can be like, yo, what the fuck is this family doing?
Yeah.
But I think that they do these things to seem like, look how out of touch we are.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because there's no way you can be that out of touch.
Right.
And like willingly put it out there.
Right.
You know, like it's one thing to like not know what milk costs or whatever, but it's like another thing to like let everyone know that you don't know what milk costs.
Right.
Like you want people to know like, yo, like how much is it? Like $60? Like I don't know, like how much y'all pay for this shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like it's one thing to like say that. It's another thing to be like, hey everybody, I thought milk.
No, dog, they can't even play us because Kylie still got the cheapest car wash thing. Because you know how you can pick like.
She still got the cheapest one?
Yeah, she got the cheapest one, bro.
What? She don't even want to invest in production costs?
Right.
It's like, bro,
she could have gotten more colors. She didn't even know.
Yeah, she didn't even know that she could have gotten the hot wax poured down. That would have been even cooler.
Yeah.
Like, so what are they like? I don't even know, man. Because at this point, you realize, like, I wonder how it works for them because they're influencers. So meaning they don't really pay for shit.
Right.
Meaning, like, their whole business model is give me shit and then I'll make people want to buy it. But why would they buy it? You know what I mean? Like, the whole idea is...
Wait, bro, have you seen that commercial for, like, Beyond Meat with Kim? It's a campaign. Like, it's a commercial video where she's like, I'm an ambassador for Beyond Meat. Like, I'm going to give them my taste buds. And there's, like a Beyond Meat burger. And she's, like, doing this. And she's, like, acting like it tastes so good. But there's no bite taken out of it. And she's, like, fake eating this food. There's no bite in any of these things.
Is that the joke?
I don't know if no, it's a real commercial.
Okay, but like, maybe you're supposed to hold the
dog. There's no bite.
Maybe she bit another burger, dog.
Okay, then film the one she bit.
I don't know. No one wants to see the bite. Maybe the bite is gross. Maybe she got gross bites.
I don't know, dog.
But on the last thing with this whole thing, I forgot. The community mad at Kim right now. I forgot about that.
Why? What community?
The art ho fashion history community.
What?
So basically, you know, she got the dress and she borrowed the dress or however she had received the dress from the museum or whatever to wear to the Met Gala, the Hey Mr. President dress from Marilyn Monroe. Mm-hmm. They show a before and after of the picture of the dress. And it's like on the zipper, it's like frayed, like material falling apart. Like to the left side, there's like multiple crystals missing, a lot of them being hanging on by a thread. Mm-hmm. So like they're basically saying what you did to go look however you wanted to look over here at the red carpet at the Met Gala is the equivalent of getting the Mona Lisa and then putting thinner on it. So they're basically like, you are going to make this dress. Now this dress is going to fall apart years faster than it ever would have. And pretty much you fucked up art history, fashion art history, and ruined this. And it's like destroying history. And you should be appalled by your...
I mean, here's the thing. Things are going to fall apart anyway. I feel like it's like when you wear your J's from the 80s, even from like the 90s, they're going to fall apart.
Yeah, but if it was
it's like museum, it was a risk. The museum let her do it.
But if it's like, let's just say it was like Michael Jordan's actual original Chicago ones from a game and shit like that, and they were put up in a beautiful display, and then like LeBron James was like, I need to wear these to get inducted into like the Hall of Fame. And like it just seems disrespectful, I guess, to where it came from.
If MJ's cool with it, it's cool with it.
But that's my thing. I don't know if that's their thing. It's one thing where MJ could say that he's cool with it, but where was Marilyn Monroe's estate? Like everyone apparently has said the way that she's been treated as far as her estate, her likeness, and everything after her death has been like crazy because like I don't think her estate has any say in anything. She may be some sort of public domain. And it's like, that's what I've heard. I don't 100% know, but it seems like maybe her estate can't even really say how they would feel because it might be like someone else owning her masters, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Then it is what it is. You write it off to the game.
So my whole thing at that point becomes, is it worth it, right? Was Kim's
look worth it?
And I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either, but again, she didn't steal it. The museum let her do it.
I know, and now the community is upset at her.
What community? You say, is it a real community, or is there like 5 people like on Twitter complaining?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I saw multiple posts about it, which made me think someone was talking about it. Okay, people were talking about it because the big sites were posting the before and afters, and we're getting all like saying that other people were getting upset. So I'm just telling you what I was told.
All these people that are like pretending to be mad probably have never seen a movie that Marilyn Monroe has been in.
She did movies? I just thought she was with the president, just like vibing.
Dog, she did movies.
I just thought she was like posing for pictures and like walking through the streets with like vents blowing up at her. Like, I didn't really understand what she did, to be honest.
Exactly.
I just thought she was like one of the original thoughts.
That too. But so people need to like shut up about it, because it's like,
how many movies have you seen with Marilyn Monroe in it?
None, because I don't know her like that.
Yeah, like who also wants to watch those old ass movies?
Right.
It's like back when acting like acting wasn't.
It was like cool. Being created like on screen.
Yeah, not only that, like just
like acting was a thing, but like.
But like even like editing, like figuring out how motion pictures work, like you're figuring out motion pictures.
Right.
Like at this point, we figured out a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But like back then, you're like, I don't know, how do people talk? Like that's such a weird thing. Like back
if they talk like this, eh?
I always wondered. I was like, who the fuck was talking like that?
Yeah.
Like, all right, see, you know, we going.
Well, you say, huh?
And I was always like, is that a recording thing? Is that like it was just such a weird concept. But yeah, I don't know. How do we feel about this? Do we feel like we need to protect history?
That depends what kind of history. I don't think this one is that crucial.
My whole thing is like, I even wonder with like buildings and stuff is like, who, I don't want to be like this insensitive, but it's like, who gives a fuck? Like,
right.
We
like
need to make new shit. New shit's going to happen. And
yeah.
you need to use shit from the past to make new shit. You know what I mean? Like the ideas, and that's where the history comes. I think everything should be documented.
Right.
Like everything should be documented so we can look back and see that this is what happened.
Right.
But I don't think that it needs to be kept and preserved all the time. I don't think we need to keep all these old buildings, because maybe we might need to make some cooler new buildings.
Right.
Why do we need these old ass buildings? I think it depends, just because they're old?
I think it depends on like certain things.
Well, of course, it's like of any sort of historical significance and shit. Put a plaque and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Put a plaque
and then turn it into like
a story, and then turn it into a fucking galleria.
You know, the next like Chase building. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like people just need to move on. We in a different society where we're moving at a way faster pace.
Right.
We can't keep on holding on to the things that I guess made us who we are, but it's like are making us who we're gonna be though.
But it's also like, what is the reason that we're supposed to care? Is it valid enough? If it is, then like you're not gonna bust down the Lincoln Memorial to like build a KFC. You know?
Yeah.
Or like a strip mall.
But with all that being said, let's go ahead and call it. I think we got what we need. Yo, you really wilding right now. You squirming?
She's telling us. She's like, it's time to go.
But tell your tias, we out here. We're talking reckless and we're putting more guests on.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. You need to stop.
Bella's telling us we got to wrap. It's a wrap.